What up, though, Pride Nation? Lions just got done playing the Tennessee Titans, and I have probably one too many opinions about this. Um, listen, this was a day to uh, really just enjoy some football and really evaluate this team based on who's going to be here long term. And this game really made some decisions for me crystal clear. Um, so right out the gate, I just looked at it and said that I'm not getting too high or too low when it comes to anything that the Lions do. I'm not going to get too pumped or too down on the Lions on what they do. But there were some things in this game that truly concerned me. Now, let me just be clear that I already know that I am going to have a number of unpopular opinions. And I also know that I am going to probably say some things that people are not going to agree with. That's fine. I just want you to be aware that my goal is to be objective and to be fair about the assessments that I've seen. Okay. First thing first, and before I even get it out, hard work and dedication points it out. And that is it was either one or two things has happened. One, Darrell Bevell's play calling was being held back by Matt Patricia, or two, Matt Patricia, I'm sorry, not Darrell Bevell. Two, Darrell Bevell refused to call a game plan and allow for Matt Patricia to take credit. It's one of those two things, because the play calling that I have seen over the last few weeks has looked night and day from each other. Absolutely night and day. And one of the things that jumped out to me was when we're looking at this team was how different they play. So obviously they got blew out in this game, obviously. But the one thing that I have noticed in all these games is the team fights. The team's response to adversity is always there since Darrell Bevell has been the head coach. But this defense that was tailor-made to Matt Patricia is that garbage. And the first thing that jumped out to me is this: Duron Hartman. Now, I have called him out before, but I'm just going to flat out start this all off with him. Duron Hartman, to me, is literally 100% a backup. He had no business being on our team as a starter. He is a backup. Every time I watch this dude, he's taking poor angles. I don't care about those interceptions. Okay, I'm being honest with y'all. I don't care about those interceptions. The bad for me outweighs the good. The interceptions that he got, okay, cool. But overall, there is not a what's the word I want to use? A clear cut that he should be returning next year. There is nothing that says that Duron Hartman should be returning. That draft pick for him, for the most part, panned it out, but he should not have been a starter on this team. Not this team. We got too many backups on this team that we should not have. And the worst part about it is that when you look at the response from the offense on some of these things, another revelation became clear to me. Now, this is the one that's going to probably piss a lot of people off. But I saw something today that is 100% proof positive for me that Darrell Bevell cannot remain head coach. Now, this may sound shocking to many of you because I just gave praise at how the offense responded and different things like that. However, my issue is this: what benefit? I want y'all in the chat to tell me, what benefit was there for Matthew Stafford to play today? I have told people many times, 10, 20, 30 times over, that at some point you have to protect a player from himself. Who had us winning this game? I didn't. Who picked us to win this game? Like, seriously. And at the end of the day, we sit there and trot this quarterback out there for what? And then to add insult to injury, we pass the ball more than we run. This is an indictment on Darrell Bevell. This is an indictment on Darrell Bevell. I said it twice because I needed to put the emphasis on there so we can understand what is going on here. There was no reason for Stafford to play today. There wasn't. Did he give us a better chance of winning? Yes. But at the end of the day, the season is basically over. What are you playing him for? Why? So you can kill some of the PR talk that he's done after this season? What is the purpose? What is the logic behind not using or utilizing or playing the guy? I don't understand what would be the purpose of it. If you're asking me that to say that, oh, he should stay the head coach, then he need to do what's in the best interest of the team. And what was in the best interest of the team was to run the ball a whole lot more and put Chase Daniels out there. We was like basically catering on like the top of the fourth, and they stopped running Derrick Henry. They literally stopped running Derrick Henry because there was no reason to run Derrick Henry. There was no reason to keep him going. Okay? This is what the reality is. And we spent time putting a guy out there who didn't need to be out there. He didn't need to be out there at all. I don't get it. Another thing that jumped out to me in this game was how they play certain players more this game. I saw Jared Davis out there. He made a few bad angles on some tackles and stuff. And I saw Reggie Ragland make a few bad angles on some tackles. I seen, per usual, Jamie Collins miss a bunch of tackles, per usual. But the thing that I noticed with the guys that they were playing more had me going, how do you expect for people to be in a rhythm when they're playing in spots? They're not even playing in the game like regular enough to get into a rhythm. And this is where the problem is coming in at. And for me, I'm having a hard time understanding it. I see why this defense is failing. I see what the problem is. And it's not really personnel per se. It's the scheme set for the personnel. It just flat out is. Nobody's really excelling in this defense that they were supposed to be tailored to. Nobody. Will Harris, why is he still on the team? Right? Deron Hartman needs to go. Okay? You go through the list of people like Everson Griffin, waste of a trade. Jelani Tavai, that's the great one might say, is trash and too slow. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. No push at all. And yes, Izzy 77, Jared Davis did make some plays today. He did. He got a damn good hit. But I'm watching Deron Hartman, people. Like this, y'all don't understand. I'm watching Deron Hartman, and I'm sitting here saying to myself, on that touchdown where Ryan Tannehill, when Ryan Tannehill got what is it called? The touchdown on the scramble. I'm watching Deron Hartman, and I'm thinking, you're the single high safety, and he magically falls. I don't know how, but he did. And he magically falls, and I'm like, okay, it's no way that he's going to do it. But then I watch play after play of Deron Hartman. Everybody is talking on Twitter and social media about the stiff arm Derrick Henry did to Myers. Let's talk about the spin cycle that was put on Deron Hartman. Seriously. Let's talk about that. Romeo Okwara literally shows you today why Everson Griffin trade was stupid. He was clearly our best pass rusher. Clearly. Don't make no sense. People talked about, this team getting better and stuff like that, and I feel like we are going in the right direction, starting with moving on from Matt Patricia and Bob Quinn. But the reality is just look at this roster. What head coach can come in and win with this? Seriously. With that defensive personnel, they got to get rid of at least 12 of those guys. At least 12. So here's my main issues today. Did the Lions play a good game? Yes. Did I enjoy aspects of the game or what they did? Yes. Was I irritated at some of the things that happened in the game? Yes. At some point, we have to be better. At some point, we have to do better. And one of the things that jumped out to me is this. Why does it seem like our running backs have the hardest time catching a simple pass out the backfield? What is the struggle with this? Like, you can see the whole thought process with them doing this. What is the struggle with this? Like, seriously. Now, Down 19 says, Luke, I think we need to take the Panthers route and draft all defense next year. If we are picking in anywhere between 1 and 12, you got to take a quarterback. You have to take a quarterback. If you are picking anywhere in the top 12, you have to take a quarterback. You hit 13 on out, all defense. I'm 100% with that. All defense. I'm like, y'all don't even understand. I'm in love with some players. I'm in love with Andre Cisco from Syracuse. You know what I'm saying? I'm in love with Paris Ford from Pittsburgh. What y'all gonna realize is I'm naming safeties. I'm naming people who can change the trajectory of our team. They throwing the ball on us because our safeties are not comparable. They're not. Nobody worries about our safeties. Nobody's trying to avoid the safety. Look at them passes they throwing. Look at them. The ball hung in the air so long. The ball hung in the air so long on that pass to Corey Davis. Where's the safety at? Grab it for air. Full spin cycle. Rinse, unload, put him in the dryer. That's how he got done. I'm at a point now. Where, yes, whoever comes in here needs 4 seasons unless I see coaching flaws. What I mean by coaching flaws mean like they're so egregious that this did not be happening at this level. That was one of the reasons why I wanted Matt Patricia fired after the first year. He was clearly learning on the job. But if they are picking in the top 12, you have to take a quarterback because I'm going to tell you why. You won't be that high next year. I think with the talent that's on this team and with the talent that's going to be in the upcoming free agency, you can do enough to not even be in the top 20 of the draft next year. So if you take a quarterback, I'm just going to put it out there. There are 2 quarterbacks who I think you could end up getting. And I think you would be okay with either one. But if the Lions somehow end up getting Zach Wilson, I'm just going to put the endorsement out there. If the Lions somehow get Zach Wilson, quarterback from BYU, you are essentially getting in my opinion, when I watch him, I just pay attention and see what he do. In my opinion, he's literally Josh Allen because he can run, he can throw it, but he's more Russell Wilson because he's smart and he sits in the pocket and he only runs when he has to. And he always goes through his reads real fast and get the ball out quickly. But if you telling me that we are picking 14 or 15, I'm telling you my first pick is Andre Cisco. I want the ball hawk. I want the guy who wants the ball. I have watched enough of Andre Cisco to see and show on film where he has completely ran through his own player for the ball. Now, Mr. Marcus says that don't make sense. We need defense, not a quarterback. All right, watch this. What defensive player could we get if we're picking in between 1 and 12 that comes in and changes our defense in its entirety? Just one. I love Andre Cisco, but I don't even think he can do that. What defensive player do we bring in that can change all that? See, I want the two safeties. If you're telling me we picking 15, I'm taking Andre first, and in the second round, I'm taking Ford. Ford to me reminds me of Cam Chancellor. He just wants to hit you. You know, remember when we had Louis Delmas, and Louis Delmas would try his best to knock your block off? That's what Ford remind me of, right? And Andre Cisco reminds me of like Earl Thomas. He wants the ball. He'll hit you if he have to, but he prefer to go for the ball. If you get them two to be your starting safeties, the middle of your field is shored up. You can essentially do a number of things. But if you're picking in the top 12, you have to have a quarterback that you are grooming behind Matthew Stafford to take over. Because essentially, the 2021 season is nothing more than a foundational year, meaning that year is meant to set the new foundation for the franchise going forward with this new head coach. You can't even get caught up emotionally in year one of 2021 for the new head coach. You can't. You can't. But as I go through and I watch the film tells me what this team should be taking. And if you are in the top 12, you are going to be in a particular situation where you can still take the quarterback of the future. I watched Zach Wilson take off and run, right? And the linebacker that he ran from, I know is fast. But he outran him. And then had the presence in mind to slide before anybody can get a hit on him. This is smart playing. I've seen him throw the ball away. You don't see this too often in college. He threw the ball away, and I went back and looked through that entire clip just to see if it was somebody open. Nope. He went through the process that fast. Zach Wilson get a year to sit, we good. You know what I mean? We good. But if we are out of the top 12, you have to go defense. All defense, starting with Andre Cisco. I like me some Parsons. I think Parsons is a monster, right? But he does not change your defense. He does not change your defense. Not enough for you to take him in the top 12. It's not enough. Parsons is not enough for you to take him in the top 12. Okay? And the reason why Parsons is not enough for you to take him in the top 12 is go and look at that Pittsburgh defense. The Penn State defense. Go and look at that defense. That defense is designed. It is designed to free the linebackers up for them to make plays. So we would have to tailor our defense the same way. I'm cool with that. But there are other linebackers that we can get that would have just as much of an impact. The difference between a guy like Parsons and a guy like Andre Cisco is a ball hawk. And I don't know about y'all, but if you go back to that 1991 team, one of the things that people worried about was our safeties. They worried about Benny Blaze. They worried about these people. And we have to do this. Like, this is the reality of it. And today's game showed me this. Today's game showed me that 12 of those guys on that field cannot come back after 2021. 12 of them. 12 of them. You want to keep Deron Hartman as a backup? Cool. Because that's what he is. Jamie Collins got to go. He ain't even taking no back seat. He got to go. I'm sorry. He just got to go. Everson Griffin was a waste of a move. He got to go. Okay? Let's go down the list, people. If you're going down the list on that defense, you better be better served to actually talk about who we should keep versus who got to go. Now, Ghost Gunner says, Luke, do you think the Lions will wait till the Super Bowl is over to hire their next coach or GM? Not GM. Not GM, because I think depending on who they interview so far, I think if Kansas City make it to the Super Bowl, then yeah, they'll wait to make a decision because they definitely want to interview people like John Dorsey. They definitely want to do that. But if you telling me that pretty much that it's not nobody that they want to interview that's in the Super Bowl, they'll make a decision before then. Now, if the coach that they want for head coach is in the Super Bowl, then obviously they got to wait. But my belief is this just me. I ain't got no inside person or nothing. I'm just looking at history. I think Robert Saleh is our next head coach. The more I look at it, the more I believe Robert Saleh is our next head coach. Who I think is our next general manager is not going to be what many of you thought. Like, I know many of y'all think it's going to be Louis Riddick or Rick Smith. But I honestly think our next general manager, I got two people who I think are up there. Is in based on what the Lions brass has said in the news about experience and stuff. John Dorsey is probably our leading candidate for the position. And the second leading person, I think, for the position is Thomas Dimitroff. I think those are the two people that we're going to look at the most. I don't have any insight. It's just a feeling based on what they said. They said they want somebody with a lot of experience. Those two have a lot of experience. Those two have been in Super Bowls. Those two have gathered talent. So those two stood out to me. I do like Xavier Collins. I'm still doing some film study on him because there was I saw one game where I saw some things that happened a lot in that one game, and I'm trying to see if I see it across games. First of all, shout out to Quincy Bell Sports. He is a Bears fan, but he's still in the building rocking with us, and he do talk all NFC sports. But the biggest thing that I love about what he do over there is he keep you up to date on everything NCAA basketball. He watched way too much damn basketball for my opinion, for healthy people, but he keeps up with it, and I think that's cool. Let's see. Mr. Marcus says, like, who? I'm not sure. Let me see where he at. Let me see if I can figure out what you was trying to ask me the question of. Harmon got to go. Yeah. Listen, people. Harmon is the only safety I've seen in a long time who waits to get hit. He got to go. Collins can go. Yep. Let's keep. Listen, put him in there. Ghost Gunner says Saleh and Rick Smith combo. I don't know if Rick Smith gets the bid. Now, one of the things that is intriguing is because this year, if they hire a minority head coach and a minority GM, I believe we get 4 extra draft picks for that. You get 2 draft picks for hiring Robert Saleh, and then you'll get another 2 if you get like Rick Smith or Louis Riddick. So that would then take our 5 draft picks to 9, and that would be dope. If we can do that, that would be wonderful. So that could be an intriguing combination, but my spirit tells me that it's not Rick Smith. I just don't get it. But I think Robert Saleh is it, because Robert Saleh looks like it's already been reported. I've been stalking the 49ers newspaper. It's already been reported that Robert Saleh has already talked to head coach Shanahan about what coaches he taking with him. Like, where they do that at, coach? He's already told his boss, hey, when I leave, I'm taking this and this person with me. Ryan Diltz, he says, I heard rumors Lions are hiring Jim Harbaugh as the head coach. I've heard that same rumor as well. I don't think that would be a good signing here because Michigan fans are too pissed off right now, and he would never get a fair shake. He would never. First of all, Black Inuyasha, that dog is beautiful. I love that. That is a beautiful dog right there. Oh, that looks beautiful. He's not leaving San Francisco. Okay. But why is he having conversations with Kyle Shanahan about what coaches he gonna take? I think he is leaving San Francisco. I really do. Dodds, if you get Dodds, I guarantee you we getting Saleh. One of the reasons Dodds turned down the interview with the Cleveland Browns is because when they asked him who did he want as a head coach, he said Robert Saleh, and they wanted Stefanski, whatever his name is. And so what ended up happening was he ended up basically saying, well, if that's who you want, then I'm gonna pass on the interview, because that's not what he wanted. He didn't want to be with an organization who's going to tell him who to take. You're not going to have me pay me to do a job, not let me do it. And then two, he really believes in what Robert Saleh does. And so to me, I think you're going to see them two probably being a good tandem. But the question becomes with Dodds, is he going to be given the full ring to do what he wants to do to build this team the way that he see fit? Fun fact, if we hire Saleh, we get picks. Right. I think it's Saleh, and if we hire a minority general manager, we get picks as well. I do watch too much college basketball, bro. I can't even keep up with you. When you go live in them basketball, I'd be like, how in the hell is he keeping up with all of this? Like, he has ranking systems and everything. I can't. It's too many college teams. But you can keep up with it. We got to get rid of. We do get a pick if we hire him, and that's awesome. Cool. Don says Tavai gotta go. I hate him. Fair enough. All of them gotta go. If we get Saleh, I think we get Richard Sherman as well. I don't want Richard Sherman. If Richard Sherman ain't ready to be a safety, he gotta go too. He can't come here. Listen, we are no longer your dumpster. Y'all don't even, as fans, listen to me, people. As fans, we are not using the word rebuild. Say it with me. We are not using the word rebuild. We're doing renovations. And the reason we're doing renovations is because when you're doing renovations, you are keeping what is good and using it, and you're adding things around it to make it beautiful. When you buy a house, nobody goes and buy a used house and say, I'm rebuilding this house. That is stupid. You don't do that. You go into the house, you rehab it, do some renovations, add some things on it to make it better, and then you sell it for more money. This is how it works. This is how the NFL is working when you look at teams. They don't completely tear stuff down. They keep what they can, and they add on to it to get the formula right. And so one of the biggest mistakes that the Lions keep doing is every year we keep doing these rebuilds. And it's like, you don't need to tear everything down. You just simply need to add some things onto it. Now, Ramon the New Wave says, I'm getting rid of the whole defense except Okudah, Amani, and the Okoro brothers and Pennicini. I like Danny Shelton. I would have keep him, but I'm not going to kill you for wanting to get rid of everybody else neither. like Ramon, I'm not, nothing you said here is wrong. Nothing you said here is wrong. Okudah, in my opinion, should be playing safety. But guess what I know about Okudah? As much as Okudah has not been performing his first year at corner, right, which has always been the way for most of these cornerbacks who come out who don't come into a perfect team, if you put two beast safeties like Andre Cisco and Paris Ford up there, now Okudah has value as a corner. But if you're not prepared to shore up that safety spot, then you got to move Okudah to safety, because that's where he's going to best be served at. Black Inuyasha says Lions not going to spend the money for Saleh. I don't know, man. I think things are different this year. In the past, I would have told you we would never go out and hire former players to help make decisions about the next head coach and general manager. But look what happened. In the past, they didn't like the way that 97.1 The Ticket was representing them, i.e. Mike Valenti, and tried to get them fired. And when they refused to fire them, they pulled their games from 97.1 The Ticket and moved it to AM Radio. Well, look what happened under Sheila Ford now. Now they're back on 97.1 The Ticket. In the past, we would have never thought or considered or even said that we would have took a guy like Colin Kaepernick. But under Sheila Ford, he's a possibility. In the past, we wouldn't have fired the coach in the middle of the season. That just happened. The last coach we fired in the middle of the season was Steve Mariucci. You go back how many years that was. right? Like it doesn't happen. In the past, we would have just fired the head coach and kept the general manager. Not this time around. Everybody got to go. They don't get rid of everybody. The head coach, the general manager. I think the water boy scared. So things are showing that this is different. This is different. Luke, do you think they bring Stafford back or trade him? Just asking. I think they bring him back. And I think they should. Because who's taking a $19 to $20 million cap hit? Now, just joining the show is PD. What's going on, PD?
Nothing much. How are you doing, Luke?
Hey, man, just talking about the Detroit Lions and the Tennessee Titans and where we should be at and how we should be viewing it as a fan base and moving forward.
I heard a little bit of what's going on. So, I actually want to ask you something. You said we need to stop using the word rebuild.
Correct.
I mean, well, dude, I guess here's the thing. We lost by 3 possessions. I don't know if you feel the same way, but we lost by 3 possessions, and I still felt the team achieved as well as it possibly could.
It did.
That's just how untalented this team is.
Yeah.
So that's why I wanted to ask you, how do you not need this? There's so much that needs to be fixed. You know what I'm saying? I guess could you expand on we need to use renovation instead of rebuild really fast?
So the reason you use the word renovation is because rebuild implies that you are breaking it all the way down to a foundation and hoping that the foundation is good. But this Lions team foundation does not need to necessarily be broke down to the foundation. There is talent on this team. You simply need to do renovations. Like, for example, if you were to take this same offense from this year into last year or any other team, it would still perform under the right head coaching. The issues are on the defense. So we need to do renovations. Rebuild implies that there's going to be mass shifts in roster. And in this case, there needs to be a mass shift on defense, not the whole roster, just defense. So when you look at this team as a whole, I don't need to blow it all up. I need to add pieces that complement the other part. For example, let's take it and put it into more of a life situation, right? When you go and you buy a house and you don't go to the house and buy it and say, yep, we're blowing this thing up, rebuilding it from the ground up. We're not doing that. They go in and say, oh, these support beams are good. Oh, this foundation is good. Oh, this siding is bad. Take the siding off. I want new siding. Oh, these windows are terrible. Take those windows out. I want new windows. And they add these little features on that turn what otherwise would have been an ugly house into a beautiful house. That's a renovation. It's not so major and drastic that you need to destroy every piece of it. Our defense is the worst part of us. We scored enough points today that if our defense got some stops, we would have won this game.
Okay, that's fair enough. I mean, the defense needs not just it needs a big renovation. The defense does, but no, I feel what you're saying.
That's my point now. Mr. Marcus says, would you keep Jared Davis? You have to. I don't know why y'all don't understand this. You have to. Simply look at Jared Davis before Matt Patricia, right? And start from his rookie year and work it up. Every year he was getting better and better. Then Patricia came and he got worse and worse. And so then they started cutting snaps. And so take that information, then add on to the fact that realistically, this game ain't working for no damn body. The only person performing in this, which is not shocking because he was doing it with the Giants, is Romeo Okwara. Duron Harmon. Duron Harmon supposed to have been planning this scheme all his life. But look at this. He hot garbage.
Yeah, Harmon was kind of a corpse in this game. He was just
that boy got put on spin cycle. You saw that?
Yeah, on the deep touchdown. I remember that. Yeah.
Everybody talk about the stiff front. I'm trying to get back to how he gets spent like that. How he can't make a tackle on the quarterback before the goal line. Why he taking bad angles? Why every time they run the ball up the middle, he waiting to get hit? Like, and that's what I'm saying. This team, our fan base, we can't say rebuild. We're done with rebuilding. We're doing renovations. We're upgrading. We're changing the way we do things. We're upgrading.
Okay, I like it.
and to me, with the renovations, it's to change the way. Again, any questions y'all have, I'm gonna try to answer them as I go through it. Luke, do we pay Kenny G, or franchise him? I would not be mad or sad if we did or did not pay Kenny Galladay. And the reason why is because if y'all pay attention, I've been screaming that we should have traded for Corey Davis because we could have got him for a 6th-round pick. Right? Bring Corey Davis back to Michigan. He played at Western Michigan. Bring him back. And I'm telling you, if we had Corey Davis this year, Corey Davis would have been our deep threat. Him and Jones would have been our deep threat. But next year, you're going to have Corey Davis. You're going to have AJ Green, John Ross, Will Fuller. You got a host of receivers who are going to be free agents. And if you decided to move on from Kenny Galladay, I ain't going to kill you for it. And if you decide to bring him back, I ain't going to kill you for that neither. What do you think, PD?
About bringing Kenny Galladay? I mean, yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat as you. I'm pretty indifferent about what we do with him. I mean, yeah, I'm pretty much indifferent. It just all depends, I guess. But I don't think he's a totally irreplaceable receiver. Don't get me wrong. He's a very good receiver, but he's not, I wouldn't view him as someone that would be that hard to replace. I mean, he'll not be easy to replace. I don't know how to word this correctly, but he's not impossible to replace. Like, you know what I'm saying, Luke?
Yeah, I mean, true. Now, Benjamin stupid. He says you can't turn a Section 8 home into a mansion. The goal is not to turn something into a mansion, but you can turn a Section 8 home into a beautiful property, whether it be rental or for sale. And I'm telling you, I know because I've done it. So I'm just saying it's very plausible and it's very easy to do. People don't realize that you can flip houses and don't even need a real estate license. And so there's a lot of things that we do. Watch Davis leave and become Patrick Willis. Listen, 3-cone, 3-1-3. Kurt, you ain't gonna get me arguing with you. We would probably have 10 wins by now if the defense made at least one extra stop every. That's my point. This is my point. And Petey, do you disagree with that? If the defense made more stops, which was hand-tailored for this former head coach, we win way more games.
No, I do agree. I mean, in all honesty, I don't really think – I mean, don't get me wrong, the defense has played terrible. We're probably going to be the 32nd ranked defense after this game. Like, we were 31st in points per drive allowed before this game. It's probably going to be 32nd by this point. But I guess I think the team as a whole is underachieving. Like, you take a couple – you can't even argue on the offense. I mean, the offense has made its fair share of mistakes as well. But no, I do agree. I mean, if I had to give a majority of the blame as to why the team struggled the way it has, I definitely give it to the defense. But I don't want to totally absolve the offense either because it's definitely had its fair share of mistakes.
True. The offense has had a fair share of mistakes. I mean, the fumbles and stuff that we saw today where it's fair share of mistakes. But the reality was, even with those mistakes, they were in the game by possession. But then we got to turn it over to something like the kicker missing extra points.
Yeah, no, it's like we talk about getting lionized. It's like every single player on this team has been lionized this year. It feels like with Prater and all these Patriot players or whatever. But yeah, no, I mean, no, I agree. Like, we definitely would be better. I mean, just an average defense. That's all. Is it too much to ask for just an average defense? That's the crazy thing. We're not begging for top 10. We're begging for average, just for one extra stop, But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, now the Black Inuyasha, I really do love that anime. First of all, and two, this picture he got, I don't know if that's his dog or not, but that is a beautiful dog. So just want to put that out there. But he says, I hope Robert Saleh comes home to Detroit. However, we should see. Also, I haven't been the biggest Stafford fan, but he should finish his contract here and retool that defense in the draft. Okay, let me try to walk through this. Here's why I'm trying to figure out how to want to word this. Here is why you do not want, nor should you consider trading Stafford right now. There's only one scenario that I can see trading Stafford for. One, which is the only one, which is a first round pick involved and a player who can help us on offense or defense. Because if I'm giving up a quarterback, I need some value in return. So my one scenario means is either one, a first, and a player that helps us, or 2 firsts. Now, we're not getting 2 firsts for Matthew Stafford, okay? If they offer a first and a second, I still wouldn't take it because I want more value, because you're going to get a talented quarterback, right? Like Peyton Manning brought value. Everybody brought value to what they're going to do. So if they offer a first and a second, I wouldn't take it. Now, a first and a second and a player on defense, sold, right? Because why? Now I can now package it up to do what I want. But here's the thing that y'all ain't going to like. By doing that, you have already conceded that first year under that head coach is a wash. It's a loss. Don't worry about it, because it's all being done because your starting quarterback that year would be Chase Daniels. I want y'all to understand this. If you trade Stafford, your starting quarterback is Chase Daniels, and they're still going to draft a quarterback to sit behind Chase Daniels. Now, here's why you want to have a drafted quarterback if you are picking between 1 and 12 and have them sit behind Stafford. Because the most lying thing you can do is to draft a quarterback and start him. That is the most lioness thing that you can do. And what that's going to do is take away precious time. First, let me acknowledge this, Mr. Benjamin. He says, I have rental properties, Luke. We get money out here. Hey, salute to you, sir. Hey, three ways of getting financial freedom: ownership of business, real estate, and investments. Just saying. But if you are taking a quarterback without somebody behind them to learn from, you're wasting them. You're wasting them. Joey Harrison had a recent interview where he said, I was better than every quarterback throughout my entire life because I was more prepared. And when I came to Detroit, he said, I was told that I wasn't going to play until the next year so I could learn. And as I was learning things, they up and told me, you start in the next week. He said, I had no clue. I wasn't ready. I wasn't prepared. And most of the information that they gave me was not enough for me to prepare for my opponent. He said that year off would have allowed me to see how each of these teams operate, what they like to do, their tendencies, and prepare for it. And he didn't get that. Not to mention his head coach told him don't audible. All right. Now, again, any questions y'all put in the chat, I'm going to address and jump on it. But PD, let me ask you this, man. Let me ask you this. What are some things that you saw in today's game that gave you that level of hope that they handled their business for the most part?
Well, I mean, I thought the defense, I mean, I know they gave up a lot of points, but like after the turnovers, they actually responded pretty good after the turnovers.
True.
Like, I don't think they got a safety out of the first fumble, and we forced a punt on the second fumble, if I recall correctly. We didn't give up any points off it, so I mean, good for them. They didn't play a good game overall at all, but good complimentary foot. Like, your offense made a mistake. All right, we're going to get your back. We're going to help you compensate for it. So that was good. I liked Stafford. He made one throw that made me cringe. You remember the throw when he didn't even step into it and he just threw it up in the air. Do you know what throw I'm talking about?
But his face mask did get hit, and then he got pulled down by Simmons.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, he made only one throw the whole game that made me cringe. But Stafford, he's looking much better than he has looked. Like he was, I don't know what was going on with him earlier, but he's looking much better as of late. So that's definitely a good sign. I like seeing that. I didn't think the injury looked like it was affecting him at all, but that was a good move. Honestly, that was a good move by Darrell Bevell. After they got down 3 possessions, it was a good idea. Good job by Darrell Bevell to pull him out. Stafford, you're done. We're down 3 possessions. Like, we're gonna get Chase Daniel, and you're done.
Yeah.
You're injured.
I'm actually upset at Darrell Bevell for him even playing Stafford. Stafford should have been a backup today.
Yeah, he probably should have. I mean, I'm not mad. I'm not terribly mad about it. I mean, it probably wasn't the best move. I mean, I didn't think Stafford didn't look all that affected by the injury. I mean, but at the same time, I know it's a good point. Like, if he gets hurt, that's devastating, not just for the rest of the season, but just in general, because you're going to decrease his value if he gets injured and stuff like that. But I can see why you would. I mean, I just want to win, and I thought Stafford gave us the best chance to win. I get emotional on that stuff. So yeah, it probably would have been a better idea to play Chase Daniel today. But at least he knew at the end. Yeah, we gotta get him. You gotta get out of here. We're down by too much at this point. At least he knew eventually. We gotta pull the plug.
But see, my thing is, I didn't want Stafford taking any more hits. They say he had a torn ligament torn on his ribs or something. I'm like, why? Why? I mean, his rib cage patches were so thick and padded that you can tell that he had a goddamn Goodyear tire around his waist. Like, you can tell they were trying to protect him.
No. The second I saw him, I was like, oh, it's not even hard to see that they're padding that rib cage and they're padding it hard,
Plus, you got to keep in mind, they're throwing him out there where they finally put Big V at right tackle and Joe Dowdle's your center. Which brings me to another damn point. Why weren't we playing Joe Dowdle earlier? All you Matt Patricia lovers, boy, I tell you, y'all been real quiet lately. I ain't seen half of the Matt Patricia people in here in a long time, y'all. I swear. Greg Charlie says all Lion fans with common sense love Stafford, but if I am him, I refuse to play for this team another year. If he comes back, he's okay with losing. That's one perspective. Here's another perspective. Maybe he's not a quitter. Maybe he wants to win so bad he wants to win here. This is how he sees it. This is my team, and I want to win here.
I'm sorry, Luke, to interrupt you, but do you want to say anything else, or can I say? I also want to expand on that. Like, not all championship. I'm going to use a basketball. Like, not all championships are created equal. Like, Luke, what would you view as more valuable in the grand scheme of things for Stafford's career? If Stafford won a Super Bowl with the Lions, or if he went to, say, the Patriots and won a Super Bowl, or if like two Super Bowls with the Patriots or one with the Lions, like
the one with the Lions.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that championship carries so much weight. Like, I'm just gonna go basketball now. Like, by far, LeBron's most powerful championship is when he came back to Cleveland and won. Like, that's 100% his most powerful championship.
Yep.
And like, do we even care about Kevin Durant's titles? Like, let's be honest.
Nope. Exactly. Or LeBron. When LeBron got his first title with the Heat, everybody gave him hell. But the one that they can't take away is what he did with Cleveland. There's a difference in how you get it. And when you go through and you look at other people, Peyton Manning played horrible in that Super Bowl that he won with Denver. But they remember what he did for the Colts.
Oh, yeah. And even just with John Elway, like John Elway, based on what I remember, like I rewatched that Super Bowl about a month ago or something like that. The one where John Elway won his first Super Bowl. The team won in spite of him. But that championship was so powerful because he stayed there for so long and grinded for so long, and he finally brought Denver the championship. Well, I mean, Terrell Davis brought Denver the championship, if we're being honest. But that championship for John Elway was probably more powerful, one of the most powerful championships. But you feel what I'm saying, Luke?
No, I am. I'm picking up what you're putting down, and that's what I'm saying. For me, the perspective that he's okay with losing is not fair, because sometimes people just want to do it. Like, man, I'll give you a perfect example. When I was a kid, I wanted to know how to do a Rubik's Cube so bad. Like, I'm being honest, it took me over a year to figure this thing out. A year. But when I did it, I carried that damn thing around everywhere. If I could have put it on a chain, I would have wore it around my neck. I wanted it that bad. That's how bad I wanted it. He ain't the only one. Dan Marino could have left Miami to go get a Super Bowl. He didn't. People could have been left and went different places and get those championships. But the reality is if any quarterback who wins a Super Bowl in Detroit will go to the Hall of Fame. That's just the facts. I don't care who you is. Yeah. You're going to the Hall of Fame.
Absolutely.
Izzy777 said, why are we still starting to Bushi over Dow for the last few weeks at guard? Good question. I mean, now Frank Ragnall's hurt, so but good question. This is the kind of stuff that was happening. I think it's more so. Well, yeah, Mars is here. Mars is, I'm sorry, let me go back. Mars is the only one from the Patricia sympathizers who has been here, but a lot of them is still missing. I mean, a lot. I remember them because I screenshotted all their stuff. Like, okay, keep that same energy, but Mars is still here. So salute to you, Mars, man.
Yeah, and shout out to salute to Funk too, because he was a Matt Patricia. He was on Matt Patricia. He liked Matt Patricia, but
I think Funk. No, I don't think Funk was necessarily a Matt Patricia supporter. I think he tried to make sense or tried to add some logic to the Matt Patricia saga, but he did have some moments where he would say some things where I'm like, it's just not going to work under this guy. It's just, I just don't get it. Stafford got 29 million reasons to come back next season. That's a lot of money. That is a lot of money. But Luke, if I'm 12 years in with a bad back and young children, I'm spreading my golden years in somewhere else. I can win a Super Bowl now. I'm with that. But the problem is it's not a Stafford decision because you got to keep in mind it's going to cost us about 19 to 20 million in dead money to move him. 19 to 20 million in dead money on the salary cap year where we may get another 10 million. Or we could lose 10 million in salary cap for that year. And now you're going to trade him and take a $20 million cap hit? Nah.
Yeah.
That ain't good for business.
Yeah, well, I haven't studied the draft all that hard, but I'm on like I think there's two ways to go about this. Either you draft a quarterback and sit him, or establish a full team and then get the quarterback. Like that's how I feel. Like you either sit a quarterback or you get a full team ready first. Because like what Tua's doing right now, he's not doing anything world beating, but he's doing what he's got to do to help the Dolphins win. Like I said, he's not doing anything world beating at all, but the team is good enough where he can learn how to just manage the game. And then later down, I think he'll make some plays later down the road. But right now he's just learning how, even like, because the team's good enough where they can like help him out. That's the two routes I think we can go. But either sit a quarterback or get a team established first. That's the
right. And to me, the team established first is more important. Benjamin says some people are Stafford fans first, Lions fans second. That is true. I am a football fan first. So a lot of the times when I talk about the Lions, I'm looking at football first. Not the Lions, but football first. Like would this be true across the entire scope of football? Like, for example, in fourth and inches, is quarterback sneak the highest percentage play for that fourth and inches? If it's on Little League, Pop Warner, middle school, high school, college, would fourth and inches quarterback sneak make the most sense? And my answer is yes, it's inches. If I can't get an inch, then I don't deserve to be on this field. So to me, I'm a football fan first. But I think my reason for not, again, and I'm a person who said if the new general manager come in and want to move on from him and he's okay with taking that $20 million cap hit, he better also be okay with doing things to set us up long-term so that we can forget that we took a $20 million cap hit and got rid of him. But my biggest issue is we are so quick to want to get rid of people. I remember when everybody was like, yeah, get Sue out of here. Buy Sue this, Sue that, Sue. And I'm thinking, dude, this is one of the premier defensive players in the league. Like, that's not even making it up. This is literally one of the premier.
Oh, Luke.
And what happens? He's so smart. Can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can hear you. You cut out for a second. I don't know what happened.
Okay. He's so smart that he signs short-term deals, and that's how he keep getting moved from team to team. Just sign a short-term deal and he out. So, but we ain't been good defensively since he left.
Yep. No.
We ain't had a defense near what it was when we had an Ndamukong Suh.
Nope. No, that's definitely, that hurts, man. That's actually really painful to think about. I think the problem at the time was they were trying to sign. I think Mayhew thought he was going to be able to re-sign Megatron and re-sign Sue. I think that's what the plan was. But
he should have got rid of Megatron. He should have traded Calvin Johnson because Calvin Johnson would have netted you the most value. People was willing to give you their wife for Calvin Johnson. Okay, you should have got rid of Calvin Johnson and Cap Sue. It just is what it is. Two guys of the podcast. Shout out to you, good people over there. He says, "How do you rate Bevell at this point?" I think he's decent. He's not head coach.
Yeah, I'm kind of at the same point. Like, I think he's doing as good as he humanly can. I think he's doing as good as he can with the circumstances he's given. But I don't see him needing. I don't know if I would. I'm not 100% sold on him as a long-term answer, though, at all.
You can call me Funk. Says, funny, a few weeks ago, we blamed Patricia for the O-line personnel. Now we don't know why it's happening. No, what happened is we were asking questions, which we're asking right now. Joe Dow was healthy, and yet they were still doing things like putting Terrell Crosby at the right tackle and then Big V at guard, and then we got Jonah at the other guard, and we like, yo, Joe Dow's healthy. And you sign Big V to be the right tackle. So let Big V be the right tackle and let Joe Dow go back to his left guard and Jonah Jackson go back to his right guard, because when that was like that, we were running the ball more efficiently. It's the same conversation. It's no different. If you look at this team right now today and look at it under Matt Patricia, go and find Matt Patricia's best game, which in my opinion came this year against the Falcons, but go and find his best game. This team today will beat his best team. Hands down. This team today would have beaten his best team. That's just the facts.
I think I can agree with that, actually. No, I don't even know if I want to ever mention Matt Patricia again. He's gone. Like, what to do? You're gone. Like, you're a bad point in our history. You're like a bad word to us, at least to me. He feels like a bad word to me at this point. But yeah, what were we gonna say, Luke?
Now Greg said that $19 million will mean nothing next season. It's not like we will be attracting big name free agents next year. No, but you still got to re-sign your free agents yourself. So you got to get your free agent signed. The better part of people like Trey Flowers' deal come due. The better part of people like Jesse James' deal come due. So yes, that $19 million does hurt. Now, if you're going to make that move and make that cut, like I said, only make that cut with the idea that you are okay knowing that that year is going to be a hot wash. It's going to be garbage. You're not going to win a lot of games. You're going to have a high draft pick, and it's going to be for a position you don't need.
Well, I was also going to say, like, believe it or not, Ragdow's going to be going into his fourth year. So I'm just kind of expanding on your point. So like, we got to re-sign him, don't we? You know, and there's guys you're going to want to re-sign for sure.
True. You can call me Funk. Says, I'm not a Patricia's guy. I'm just sick of the revolving door. The revolving door will stop when we are willing to make the necessary decisions ahead of time. The biggest problem was we were having a revolving door because there was not football guys making football decisions. That wasn't happening. Sheila has changed that in 1 year. She ain't even been a year yet. Her ass been on it for like a few months. She's already done more in her few months than any of her parents' siblings could have ever done for the Lions organization.
Oh yeah, for sure. No, I like what Sheila's. We'll see how it works out. I'll judge Sheila in a couple years. I'm not going to judge her right now. I'm not going to give her a good rating or a bad rating. I like her bringing in Barry Sanders and Chris Spielman and whatnot, but I'm going to give her a little more time before I give her a good or bad rating.
Fair. That's a fair assessment. I think that's really fair. Black Inuyasha says, I knew Jelani Tavai was going to be bad when I seen his film. He's a boy in a man's game, no awareness. I think he's out of position, man. Because his first year, he actually played really well. But then they moved him from inside to this outside crap, and I don't know why. I don't. He was brought in because he can play multiple positions, but he's not a full-time outside linebacker. That's not him. He's an inside linebacker. And what should happen is he should be in. This is how it should look. He should be inside. Reggie Ragland should be inside. And Davis and Collins should be the outside. That's how it should look. Because when I look at how they run from the inside out, I think they'd be better service having like areas and hedges to run that space. But Jelani Tavai is not fast enough to be an outside linebacker and be asked to cover people, run with tight ends, and Lord knows what else. He's not that guy. Like I just don't see that. I used to be a Patricia defender, not no more. I understand. I remember the Sue haters. Oh my God, man, we ain't been good since Sue. I remember the Sue haters. I remember the Sean Rogers haters. I was like, bro, we ain't gonna have a good defense for years to come. And then we end up sucking. And I was like, look, we gonna get Sue. We got Sue. We end up getting it back together. And I'm like, here we go again. Same thing, repeat. Get rid of Sue. The same way they wanted Sean Rogers going, get rid of Sue. And we was back to sucking on defense. History repeats itself if you don't pay attention to it. Let's see. He had 3 and hated his wife. You stupid, man. They were unbearable. Let me see. I'm going through everything. Any questions y'all have in there? We got it. Let's see. We're going to hit on every one of them. Just put them in there.
All right. Actually, Luke, can I get my final thoughts now? I think I got to jump off.
Go ahead, because I'm not going to be on too much longer anyway. Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, thank you, Luke, for letting me hop on for a second. The team did as good as it could today, I felt. I know they lost by 3 possessions, but we got work to do for sure. I can't wait to see who we draft, who our next general manager is, and all that stuff. And heck, I can't wait to see how the rest of the season plays out. Hopefully we can get at least 1 dub, but we'll see what happens. And I know people might not want us to get a dub, but I like to win. People are playing for stuff. I like to see my team win no matter what. And besides, there's plenty of there's going to be good players. If you get a player, you got to coach them up. Like Josh Allen was Josh Allen the 4th quarterback taken in that 2018 draft?
Yep.
Hey, turned out pretty good. Lamar Jackson, he was the last first-round quarterback taken in that draft, if I recall correctly.
Yep.
Yeah. Hey, we can get good players if you coach them up right. So, yeah, but
plus they had the benefit of going to teams that was more prepared. And fun fact, Josh Allen got to sit behind Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah.
Until Tyrod Taylor got hurt.
Yeah, exactly. No, but yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in. It's a tough season, but the DSA will always be here through thick and thin. And yeah, but thank you everyone for tuning in, and thanks Luke for letting me hop on for a brief moment.
Salute for coming on, man. Like I said, I'll be getting off in a few. Just got to cover a few more topics, and then we'll get to it. Ramon the New Age says, if we get Salah, I think Bevel stays as an OC, and I would be okay with that. If you're telling me that you're doing renovations and you're keeping him at the OC, and you automatically are prepared to accept that the first year might be hot garbage, then fine. But if you're telling me that you want to start your foundation now to build it for the long haul, he can't stay. He just can't, unfortunately. They're going to have to learn a new offense. But if he do stay, then cool. I'm all right with it. As long as you are able to accept that the next year ain't going to be a good one. Marcus Willis says, Big V was a wasted signing. Okay, I'm going to leave that alone. I said that, but I'm going to leave that alone. I'm going to leave that alone. I mean, we gave a nice penny to a career backup is what my statements was, but okay. The great one, Mike, says his best game was against the Patriots. But now that Matty P is gone, who's at fault for it? There is no fault. The people who were at fault are gone. Bob Quinn is gone. Matt Patricia is gone. There is no fault. The scheme sucked. That scheme was implemented by Matt Patricia. Matt Patricia was hired by Bob Quinn. They're gone. There is no fault to hand out at this point. The season was at a loss already. And so, you just have to go through and call a spade a spade. I mean, like I said, every other team that was behind us has somehow caught up and surpassed us. The Dolphins, the Titans, the Cardinals. We were better than those teams. And now they're better than us. And that's an indictment on the general manager and the head coach. Listen, Sue could have did everything he wanted. I was okay. They were scared of Sue. I watched today the Tennessee Titans double team the shit out of the tight end a lot. They wanted them to throw the ball to the receivers. So I get it, but Sue was my bad guy. I wanted my bad. He was my Bill Laimbeer. Like I want that guy back. I need him back. So that's just me. Let me see. Let me keep going through it, man. I want to make sure I hit on a bunch of stuff. And anything that y'all want to hit on, let's talk about it. You know what I mean? But overall, this game succeeded. One of the questions I wanted to ask is, and I'm probably gonna ask it again on Tuesday, is did Matthew Stafford live up to expectations after being drafted first overall? Like in the chat, with a swift yes or no, tell me. Did Matthew Stafford live up to expectations? He was taken first overall back in 2009. And you tell me if that's the case. Angelo, would you be mad at Robert Saleh as head coach? No. What's Luke G and everybody? We need a prayer and a miracle and God and his crew to come play for the Lions to turn this thing around. We don't even need that much. The first steps is out the door. So we got the people who was responsible out the door. Now we just need people who's ready to understand that it's a hard road ahead. Luke, is they don't re-sign Galladay, will they have to draft a receiver in the first round? If the Lions drafted a receiver in the first round, that's a Lion move. That's stupid. That's a luxury pick. Now that's coming from a person who believes you take the talent. The key to taking the talent means that this talent is above all other talent you're going to pick. You ain't going to tell me that receiver is more talented than some of the people ahead of them for this team. No way. No. That's one of the reasons why when I look at the general managers and the head coaches, I don't see, like, for us to take Louis Riddick when you got a chance to get Rick Smith or Thomas Dimitroff or Scott Pioli, which I know most people don't want Scott Pioli, or John Dorsey or somebody else. You take this guy. It's about experience. Is he the best person right now free for candidacy? No. I'm trying to get the best. This is like picking your next wife or husband. You can't be settling on the constellation prize. You need to get the best. Because if you don't, you're going to end up being resentful about what you accepted. You have to get the best. I want wins. I just don't see a reason to play people who are hurt. Yeah, that's why, to me, in my opinion, that's why I say Bevel can't be the head coach. There was no reason for him to play Stafford today. That decision tells me everything I need to know about him. So he feel like middle linebackers need awareness and aggression. He had that. He had awareness and aggression before, but put him out of position. Saleh and Bevel have ties from Seattle. Yeah, I remember that. Listen, I'm just gonna put this out there, people. Y'all heard it here first. You'll probably get videos afterwards. This would be my perfect scenario for our coaching staff. First things first, stay with me. Head coach right now, because I really super want him, but I think that's who it's going to be. But I think it's going to be Robert Saleh. So you got Robert Saleh as the head coach. Boom. We get 2 extra picks. Boom. Offensive coordinator. Defensive coordinator. If he decides to keep Darrell Bevel as offensive coordinator, I want to go out and talk to Dan Quinn as a defensive coordinator. That's right. The same Dan Quinn who was head coach of the Falcons. I want him as a DC. Stay with me. Now, there's a risk in all of this because we could be losing these guys after a season, but stay with me. I would then keep Combs as my special teams coordinator. All right. And then what I would do is I would literally go and make my first pick. If we are out of the top 12, Andre Cisco, safety out of Syracuse. Right? Now, if Andre Cisco is now off the board, I have other people that I'm still comfortable taking. Now, if the Lions are picking in the top 5, they have to trade that pick. There's no ifs, ands, and buts. Whatever offer come up, you got to take it. Get out of that 5th pick overall. Get out of it. If they offer you 2 firsts, a 4th, and a 5th, buy. So quickly, run to the table before they change their damn mind. Hurry up. If you're in the top 10 and a person want to trade up with you, take it. You need draft capital. But if your head coach is Robert Saleh, a guy who's a player's coach who's passionate. Your OC stays there, who knows that he's going to have to run things a little different. And then your defensive coordinator is Dan Quinn. I can see us really making a run in the playoffs. That would be my ideal scenario one for me. So I'm just saying, just putting it out there. Let me see. I'm going to try to hit on everybody. I want to give everybody a chance. We don't need Robert Saleh as head coach. Did you see the 49ers game? I'm sorry. Head coaching and coordinators are two different things. They're two different things, Malik. And what I mean by that is this. It's different when you get to call the shots. You don't believe me? Here go proof. Sheila was always in the background, just being a part of the conversation, knowing that regardless of what she said, they were going to do the opposite. So she just basically was like, okay, whatever, Mom. Yeah, that's a good idea. Now she get to call the shots. Stuff is moving way different. Daryl Bevel was the offensive coordinator. Still want to make him my head coach, but look at the play calling. Totally different. Totally different. Look at the defensive play calling. Totally different. I'm almost willing to bet, without me even checking the stats, that we don't even run man as much as we used to. Totally different. It's one thing to be on the sideline versus when you have the power to do it the way you want to. You know how when you was little and you was at home with mom and dad and you was like, yo, I want to go out and I'd be back home around like 10 and your mom and dad was like, no, you coming back at 9? You had to do it that way. But the moment you got away and you was an adult, you stayed out to 4 in the morning. All the food that your parents said you couldn't eat, you bought that shit and ate it. Everything that you could not do, you did it your way when it was your turn. I look at coordinators a little bit different because that same game that you're talking about, tell me how many people from that defense is missing. He got a lot of injuries over there and they're still performing. They're still performing. They was in a dogfight, yes. But there's a lot of key players from that defense missing. And so to me, that is not an indictment on him. The head coach got to do his part too. Shoot, you gave him eggs and told him you wanted the omelet, but when he made you scramble eggs because you didn't give him everything else that you wanted in your omelet, you can't get mad at it. I don't think you can keep Bevel. We'll be like Jim Bob from year one. Again, like I said, if you're keeping him as an OC and you are okay with the fact that season's going to be trash, then I'm cool with it. But like I said, my view is you have to let the new foundation come in and get started anyway. So either way it go, it don't make a difference to me. Again, we're not using the word rebuild, renovations. We are going to do renovations. Stafford's been in the league for 12 years and has only been to the Pro Bowl one time. What does that tell us? He's not elite. Wrong. The Pro Bowl is not indicative of good players. Okay, all pros are more indicative of good players. But the truth is this: can you name me? And I'll ask this to anybody who has issues with Stafford. Name me the team, one team that you said, man, that team can go all the way. One team before Stafford, during Stafford, that you said can go all the way. You give me an answer to that, then we can talk about it, because I'm pretty sure the answer is you can't. 313 Zone says DN or interior D-line comes first. I don't care. I don't want to force picks. The question is that the best DN we could take? Meaning that his talent, like for example, when we took Sue, I cold-heartedly believe when we took Sue that Sue was hands down better than Jerry McCoy. Sue was hands down better than any other player on defense we could have took that year. If you're taking a DN or a D tackle, they better be the best player for defense, bar none, that season, like that year. So when do you bounce from Stafford, if not next year, after next year? So when next year comes, you bounce from, because then you get like 20-something, or like, I want to say like $24 million in free space, and it only costs you like $3 million in dead money. So you take $3 million in dead money, let next year be his last year, you move on from him. Simple. And by doing this, guess what happened? Your rookie quarterback that you took got a chance to rest, got a chance to learn, got a chance to sit and see how this thing works. Get used to the swing of things, find his own rhythm. Um, so I mean, those are some of the things. So I'm just pointing these little things out, people. Elliot Wolf for GM, please. I think Elliot Wolf does a very good job of bringing in talent. I'm going to question some of these coaches he hired. I can't overlook some of them coaches he hired. Like what? Why? What was going on? Salah is running a good defense despite having them on IR. Yeah. Stafford is top tier, not elite. You got to define what elite is to me. If you tell me Aaron Rodgers is elite, Aaron Rodgers thinks Stafford is elite. So is Aaron Rodgers wrong? If you tell me that you think that Peyton Manning is elite, Peyton Manning thinks Matthew Stafford is elite. Or Peyton Manning wrong? Define to me what you think is elite. Salah would bring Mike LaFleur. Yep. Like I said, it is what it is. Look, Andre Cisco will still be there in the second round. No, he won't. No, he won't. Listen. Listen. I'm going to tell you why he won't be there in the second round. I really thought that Clyde Edwards-Helaire would make it to the second round. I said it's a very good chance he could go in the first, but I said he should be there in the second. He got took in 32nd overall by the Chiefs. I went through and I looked at teams who need a safety, and I'm not joking. Dallas need a safety. I'm just not me making it up. Dallas need a safety. Patriots need a safety. What was I going through? I was naming all the teams. Bears needed a complimentary safety. There are teams who are going to be picking lower than us, who's going to see him and say he has value. Now, there was some people who came out that I thought was going to be going in the first round. They made it to the second, like Budda Baker. I didn't see that coming. But when you watch Budda Baker play, he clearly was a first round talent. So I'm just saying, I don't think Andre Cisco. I just don't. My spirit say no. My soul say no. Who's the safety right now for the Texans? Like, I just don't see it. We pay too much for players that just can't never help us. We have to get rid of those backups, replace with good players that can help play and tackle. And that's my problem. We got a lot of backups on this team that we overpaid. A lot of backups. Deron Hartman, garbage. Like, I couldn't stand Tavon Wilson. Deron Hartman makes me just a little bit more mad because it's like, bro, if you just complete the process, you can be so much better. But he stops and waits for tackles. And it's irritating as hell. We go out and get Everson Griffin, who's clearly lost a step. What's the point? Eric, what's going on? He said, what's good, Luke? Not much, man. Just here talking a little football. Yes, Pro Bowl is a popularity contest. Let's see. I'm going through all these different ones. I want to get hit on as many of them as possible. I'm really trying to cover everything. Fun fact, Salah and Mike LaFleur are best friends. Kind of cool. Hey, if he can bring them, then I'm cool with it. We should have kept Sue and build around him. A-M-F-ing man. That's how I'm going to say it. Okay? I don't understand why we moved on. Our defense ain't been good since he's been gone. The Pro Bowl is the NFL equivalent of a show and tell. It's BS. That's all it is. Who is the best defensive player the Lions should sign in free agency? Ooh, that's a good one. Malik? Okay. This is a good one. I'm going to tell you why. Because it's really going to boil down to who is still left, right? And who really actually hit the market. We know who contracts expire. But what we don't know is who's actually going to hit the market. And so if I'm sure, let's just say hypothetically that all of them hit the market. Let's just say every single person that we think are going to hit the market. All right. And we're going for defense. Let me think. The top defensive free agent for next year. Man, it's some good names out here too. God, it's some good names. Let me see. Well, this is harder than I thought. This is harder than I thought. When I think about like the top defensive player that's gonna be a free agent. I meant to get back to you on that one because even right now I'm looking at the names and like Von Miller is supposed to be a free agent next year. But is he really gonna hit the market? Matt Judon supposed to be a free agent next year. Is he gonna hit the market? Bud Dupree supposed to be a free agent next year. Is he gonna hit the market? Levante David, is he hitting the market? Like I'm just saying, look at some of these names. Hassan Reddick. I'm still just in the outside linebackers. I haven't even went to the other positions. Are these people really gonna hit the market? That's where it kind of gets a little complicated at for me, because so many people I don't know if they're gonna hit the market, and if they do, we still have to figure out who's the top person to take. I mean, I'm going to let me see. I'm going to just regular linebackers. Let's see. We got people like, God, it's some good names out here. If they all hit the market. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. It's about at least a good 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 10. It's about I got at least 20 players at linebacker alone that I would be okay coming to the Lions that would fit the best in terms of other groups. But then when I go and look at some of these other groups, because cornerback ain't on our list. I'm just gonna put that out there, people. Cornerback ain't on our list. We made an investment in goddamn Trufant. We got to live with that mistake. Okay. He's going to have to perform. But safeties are. And people like Anthony Harrison from Minnesota, I mean, I'm not turning my collar down to no safety. I need safety help bad. But it's some names on here, though. That's all I'm pointing out. Even with the D tackles, Sue's gonna be a free agent. Daquan Jones gonna be a free agent. I think those are two valuable D tackles. Sheldon Rankins. Sheldon Rankins is gonna be a free agent. Look at this. There's some names on this boy, man. It's some names on this boy. I'm talking about like y'all don't understand. If all these people hit the market, Jesus. Watch out. You can literally build your defense in one offseason if all these guys hit the market. Like, I'm not even joking. Leonard Williams, Jadeveon Clowney, Ryan Kerrigan. Although Solomon Thomas ain't been working out in San Francisco like he was thought to be, I still would add him to this squad. He young enough to be a good rotational dude. Dude, it's a lot of people. I'm just gonna put it out there. It's a lot of people. I'm gonna dig further, and I'll be able to get you an answer later because there's too many people I like right now. Way too many. That's my honest answer. I want it to be fair and do it the right way. He said, and I heard Darius Slay is hot garbage now. He hurt. That's the problem. He hurt. I'm gonna tell you why it's not time to move on from bringing up Matt Patricia, because we haven't moved on from bringing up Matt Millen, and so the issue is you don't want to move on from bringing them up because you want the organization to know that not only do we not have short memories, we remember all of your stupidity. Every dumb move you come up with, let them be known on what it is that you have. So no, who would be GM though? I think our GM is going to end up being just me. I think our GM is going to end up being Rick Smith. It's either going to be Rick Smith or they magically find a way to get Thomas Dimitroff. I really think Thomas Dimitroff might end up being more than Rick Smith because I think because he hasn't been out as long as Rick Smith. But between them two, I think it's that. But my ideal situation, I think those guys, depending on who goes to the thing, they really want to interview John Dorsey. Let me see. The Pro Bowl players were determined by the votes of fans, players, and coaches. Yep. And Stafford voted in one time says a lot. No, it doesn't. Because a lot of those people respect Stafford, but they also look at the team that he's on. And so they don't respect the Lions. And then 9 times out of 10, they also understand that when more of their guys get in, they get money for that. The teams get money for those Pro Bowl players coming in, and they get recognition for that. Ain't nobody really trying to help the Lions out like that when they're not doing nothing, and it's a waste of energy. Even if I wanted to help you out, your team ain't doing nothing. Your coaches ain't up to par. You're average at best, and it's a waste of energy. So I just don't see why that would be a valuable approach. So I'm just saying, resign Jones or Galladay. I would resign Jones before I would resign Galladay because I think there's a lot of free agent wide receivers coming out, and this year's draft got a lot of good receivers. So I'm just saying, if Jones do leave, if Jones do leave, it is what it is. So. All right. So let me see. I think that's all of it. I don't cover it as much as possible. We're going to obviously have a roundtable show. So you're going to make sure you don't miss that. But today was a good day for evaluation. Here's my overall view of what happened today. That Darrell Bevell cannot be our head coach. I don't like the idea that he decided to play Matthew Stafford. It's clear that there's too many players on this team, particularly on defense, who are just backups and need to be moved on from. And I think overall that this team's performance today was still respectable. I mean, they responded to every single thing that was happening, and I thought that was a good thing. Here's my positive final thought for the day. And it's a quote that just come from me. In a few days, we got some holidays coming up, and whatever holiday you celebrate, I just want you to know you need to celebrate it and celebrate it appropriately, because this has been a year where many people have been lost. Many people that we used to laugh and joke with and have fun with are not here with us. And one of the best gifts you can give them is to live and still have fun, still smile, still enjoy every minute of life, and treat it as if though tomorrow really isn't promised for us. And take all those moments in and give people their flowers while they're here today. Because I know that one thing I'm going to do a whole lot of as these holidays come up is I'm going to do a whole lot of holding my children and embracing my family and my friends. And even those of you who support me and rock with the channel, I'm going to support and rock y'all. Hit me a message. Maybe y'all going through a bad day. You hit me up. I'll give you my phone number. We can talk. It's not that big of a deal to have somebody to lean on. And whatever you say with me will stay with me. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining the show. Hope you enjoy the rest of today's football game. And as always, don't be no chump. Please do your research. We are out.